How's it going? Also, thanks to or M Samurai for the follow. How's it going? Feedback. Okay. Alright, let's look at this game. One thing I want to look at is this last hand right here. I really kind of felt bad for this 9 Don. I kind of snubbed him. Because I'm like, oh, here you go, Kihara. I'm going to give you an escape out of last place. So the reason I didn't technically kind of want to fold here is because, well, actually, should I fold here? So I'm trying to figure out what are the ways that I can possibly even get Tenpai. Because I was 2 Shanten from forever, and like, oh, I need to get to Tenpai before I can actually do anything. But if I, let's say, I don't know, throw this, draw a red 5 next turn, so I got 2 more draws. So if I draw a red 5 next turn, and then I draw a red 5 the next turn, and then one of the tiles that's safe for, like, you know, the 2 Richis, and this guy right here comes out, technically they could deal into Haite, Tanyao, Dora 3, which would be enough. So, but what are the chances that I could actually go under them, which are probably a little bit more likely. So they're 21,000 points away, so if they hit me with a direct Hanemon Sumo, I would fall into 3rd. Whereas, even if I do deal into a Hanemon Sumo, I'll still stay in 3rd place, so I can't fall into 4th. And if I deal into a Mongon, then I won't fall into 4th either. The Dora, I can see 1, 2, 3 of them. So right now I can't see 4 more Dora. Of the 8s, we can see 1, 2, 3. Is that it? So they could potentially be using a lot of Dora in their hands. Maybe backing off here is better. Yeah. I did feel kind of bad for this person, though, because it's like, oh, reach. And they're like, oh, I escaped last, and now this person falls into 4th. I'm sorry. They would have drawn it anyway. Or, no, they wouldn't have. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, time to review the game. Like always, if you have any questions or anything, just feel free to throw it on the chat, and I will reply to you as soon as I look over to the other screen and see it. So, first up, East 1, 3rd turn. Oh, yeah, this hand was kind of fun. So, I have a Sanshoku potential, I have Dora, and I'm technically 1 Shanten right now. What should I do? So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks, and so I can either confirm this shape right here by throwing the 5, or I can throw out this shape right here and confirm the 1, 3. But I thought, well, because this is going to be like a Moto Hikake, if I do keep this around, which is exactly what the shape is, a 1, 3, 5, and like you reach on the 5 and you're waiting on the 2. That happens a lot. Or you could have a 2, 4, 6, reaching on the 6, and then you'd be waiting on the 3. That's why, even if you are using Suji to defend, usually you don't want to use Suji either at the reach tile or the tile right before the reach tile, because those are a lot more dangerous than the other Suji tiles. So I think throwing 5 right here early is pretty standard. Alright. Next up, 8th turn and 9th turn. I really wanted to push this hand. Okay, so yeah. Actually, let's go back to even this turn right here. So I'm 1 Shanten right now with a chance for Honitsu, or not Honitsu, Sanshoku, Dora, and Richi. So 8,000 point hand. In order to do that, I'm going to have to probably drop the Dora, but it's pretty hard to use. So I'm not so much concerned with that. But I'm not even Tenpai, and I have to actually push to get them. Though, if I look at the safe tiles that I have for their reach right now, I only have the one pin, so even if I do fold, it's not like I have a path to like run away to. Or I'm sorry, I have the one So as well, or one Manzu. So I do have some path. So should I keep this nice one Shanten or not? Usually the answer is gonna be no, but it always depends on like how much you're willing to push. For instance, in this case, they did drop the 4. And even though the Moro Hikake reach, so if they had, let's say, a 4, 6, and 8 shape, and they reach you on the 4, is not super rare. It's definitely there. And so this 7 is kind of a little bit dangerous. But it's still less dangerous than, let's say, I don't know, the 5 Sozu or something like that. That being the case, this is probably just on the limit of like what I'm willing to push to keep this manga on 1 Shanten. And then if I draw something too bad, I can always fold. So, boom. Then I get a 3. Same thing with this 3. Because I can see 1, 2, 3 of the 4s right here, and then also 3 of the 5s right there, it becomes a little bit better to drop for me. And so, same thing. This is about the case that I'm willing to push. Now, the fun part. By fun part, I mean the part where I potentially shoot myself in the foot. Should I call Con here? Probably not. So, I'm still 1 Shanten away. If I call Con here, then I will be Tenpai, or not Tenpai, I'll still be 1 Shanten, waiting on the 2 and the 2 pin and 2 mon, of which on the board I can't see any right now, so there's still technically 8 tiles remaining, or in other people's hands. Oh, I'm sorry, there's 1 right here, so 7. That's pretty bad. That's actually really bad. Like, this is a mistake. So, as a comparison, 1 Shanten to 7 pairs with like full weights, in other words, 9 potential tiles, is on average 14 tiles, or I'm sorry, 14 draws to get to Tenpai. So, in this case where we have only 7 tiles, it's even worse than that. And we're already in the mid-round, mid-game, and someone's in reach. So at this point, I think this is the point that I should say, nope, I'm good, I should fold. Plus, I could still, like, half fold by throwing the 1. And so it's, and also the 3 is safe as well. And if I do happen to get Tenpai elsewhere, then I can figure out what to do with this. So yeah, I definitely think I should probably fold at this point. Or you believe in yourself at Con! Yeah, that was bad. It's quite interesting how I'm relying on Con when I'm running out of time, but that's a bad habit. Yeah, in this case right here, I should probably just break up the 1-3 of circles. Ooh, fun. Alright, next up. East 2-1, first turn, 5th turn, and 10th turn. Oh, this is nice. So this is like just a small little thing on Tenhou. So person discards the first West. Now I have a West, but I have a really good hand, right? Or not really good, but it's not bad. I got 2 completed sets. I got a pair. I got a double-sided weight right here, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 2 Shanten. I got 1 door in my hands, and all is well. Plus, I have another tile that's probably kind of unusable, or at least not preferred, which is the 9, because if I do end up getting like an 8 or a 7, I'm not happy. Mainly because if I draw and complete this shape first, I would be in Tenpai for Richi only, on a bad weight, which I would just ignore, throw out the 9 anyway, and then try for a better weight, or more value. So since that's the case, right here I can throw out the 9 a little bit early, and also it saves against the potential of if I drop the West and a couple more West happen. It's kind of small in this case. A lot more likely cases, if there's a West right here and a West right here, and you're this person right here, and you have a choice between dropping a West or something else, if you like your hand, generally you don't want to drop that West, because at this point, if there are 3 west on the field, it's like 1 out of like 13 or something that a reset is going to happen. And so this person basically makes or breaks this. The first person doesn't really matter. The second person also really doesn't matter that much, but statistically the third person very much so matters. The chances of the Sufu Renda, or 4-wind reset, occurring goes up exponentially each person, basically. So, yeah, I don't think I think the 9 is okay here. Next up, 5th turn. Now this one's kind of interesting. So, I already have enough like nice shapes in my hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I got this 4 right here. But this is the Dora. So, I can use the Dora if I get a pair of it. Or I'll just have to drop it when I reach. But the problem with that is if I do call a reach and someone pawns it, especially if like the dealer pawns it, my Reachy Pinfu is not enough to fight a dealer potential Hanemon guaranteed Mongon. So if I drop it right now, I have the benefit of being able to see, you know, what's going on, did someone call it, and if they did, I can figure out if I need to fold or not. Another benefit of this is, if we look on the board, we can see 1, 2, 3. So 3 of the 9 Sozus right here are gone, which means this shape only has 4 Sozus and 1 9 Sozu, which isn't bad, still pretty good. But if we could upgrade, let's say by getting, I don't know, another 3 right here for a 2, 3, 3, 4, 4 shape, we can also upgrade with that. So this kind of serves dual benefit right here. So dropping the Dora, I think, is good. Even though we lose the chance for the Dora pawn, or the Dora pair, because we already have potential Pinfu and we could even upgrade to Sanshoku, I think it's okay here. And then 10th turn. Ooh, okay. So in this case, dealer Reached, but I want to keep my 1 Shanten still technically alive, just in case like I get lucky with what they discard or anything else. And I drew the 9 right here. So the 9 is pretty safe. Like, if we look on the board, we can see 1 7 right here, and I have the other 3 right here. So all the 7s form a wall. And then we can also see 2 8s, but that doesn't mean much because there's already wall, and we can see 1 9. So what does this mean? This means that the only way that they can be waiting on the 9 is either with a 9 Tunky, so a single lone 9 remaining, or 2 9s in their hands waiting on like a Shabo wait. But both of those are kind of unlikely because they dropped this 8-pin so early before their reach. So the 9-pin right here is pretty safe, and the benefit of it is... What is the benefit of it? Not much, really. I mean, well, a little. For instance, in the case that we drop the 9-pin, and then dealer draws and discards like 1, 3, or 7, and then we like pair up something around there, and we can now drop those tiles, we can instantly get Tenpai, and even though we don't want to reach this hand, because our Riichi Nomi, or even like Riichi Pinfu maybe, is not enough to fight a dealer. But we could still take Tenpai safely, and then give ourselves a chance to maybe draw the winning tile and end off this Riichi threat right here. So I think pushing the 9-pin right here is a safe enough push that it's probably worth it. Only because it's very unlikely. Like, super unlikely. And plus, their hand progression doesn't look like it's a hand that is going for a trap. Normal hand progression goes like honor tiles, or before that, if you have like a 1, 4, 6, 9 shape, throw off the 1 and 9. Honor tiles, 1s and 9s. Lone Yakuhai tiles, followed by like 2s, 8s, and then everything in the middle. And then at the end, they'll throw a safe tile as they go along. So if we look at their... Oops, not that. Click the right button. So if we look at their Tsumogiri and whatnot, it kind of follows that. So it's like, you know, start with this, start with this, start with this. throw a middle tile, and then finally they have their safe tile overflow, because this is like the last, or not the last, but second to last south, so they're keeping that as like a safe tile, and then Ricci right there. So their hand looks pretty standard. Alright. Next up, South 2. Or not South 2. East 3-0, 7th turn Chi? Question mark. Should I call Chi here? Maybe. So I'm dealer, and I have 1 Shanten with open Itsu, 1 Dora. I have a good side weight right here. And then if I Chi that, I'll drop the 6 to lock in my pair. But that might kind of give away my Yaku, considering we have Haku right here. I'm sorry, Chun is dead, Haku's dead, Hatsu's dead, my own Wind is dead. So the only possible Yakus I can have at that point is either going to be like a Chinitsu, a Itsu, a Chanta, or a Sanshoku. But both Chanta and Sanshoku look highly unlikely because of what I've discarded. And Chinitsu does as well, because I would potentially look for Honitsu chance. So that might make this weight a little bit hard. But the hand is kind of trash anyway. I was keeping the 6 around in case I draw like a 5. Then I can throw out the 1, and then I can have the 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 shape, which is like a Ryankan shape. So I can get the 3, and then keep 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and throw the 9. Or I can get an 8, and keep the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and throw the 2. But at this point, this is the second 8 that's out. And so if I do pass this up, there's only 2 8s remaining. This weight's kind of bad as well. In that there's only 3 and it's hard to improve, and so maybe taking this is good. My biggest issue here is that the Dora is the 5, which is really easy to use, so you could have, for instance, East Dora 3, or Tanyao Dora 3. And everyone looks like they're going pretty heavy on the Tanyao side with their discards, so yeah, maybe trying to speed this hand up a little might be okay. I just don't want to overextend myself to the point that's like, oh no, I called twice and someone Ricci's, and I have like a dirt hand versus whatever they have. Though the opposite of that might be true as well, because I'm dealer. If I do stay and do nothing, someone can sumo a big hand and they'll cover a big distance with me anyway. And even if they reach, it's not like I'm completely helpless. So yeah, maybe calling Chi right here is okay. Take a picture, send it to people. Oh no, line isn't opening up. No, I'll just use Discord. Okay, next up, what do I got? East 2, 2nd, 4th, and push, question mark? Or East 4. Ooh, this is interesting. Probably actually, maybe Haku. So in this case right here, we already have some pretty good shapes going on. We got this thing building up right here, which can give us easily 2, 3, 4. So do we want to keep the Haku around or not? I think keeping it for 1 turn is okay, especially since we don't have all 5 of our blocks yet. But the benefit of this right now is if we throw it right now and someone does pawn, then we can start planning, you know, how am I going to defend against them. But it's so early that That doesn't really matter much, so I think probably throwing Hatsu here first is better. And then if we had something like this straw right here, a 3-pin, then at that point, like, okay, yes, we can throw the Haku. Alright, next up, 4th turn. Oh, this is interesting. So how do we look at this? So this is kind of like a solid block, floating tile, and then this shape right here. So we can either get rid of the floating tile or get rid of something in the shape right here. So what does everything give us? The 4 right here is kind of floating, but it could also potentially give us Itsu. And we could also view this as like 1 block right here with the 4, 5, 6, 2 block with the 4 and 6, and then another block with the 6 and the 8, and then have a pair out of one of these two. So throwing the 7 does move us forward. Throwing the 8 right here kind of breaks up that, but the 8 by itself is also kind of like hanging. But yeah, the 7 benefits a lot from it, so I guess the 7 right here is better. And then the cool thing about this thing right here is with the 4 shape, it turns into this beautiful, beautiful shape right here, which is waiting on, if I complete these two, then this shape right here is waiting on the 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, and the 7. So good. And then I had a question of, should I push this against the reach? So the reach is really interesting because there wasn't much information from it aside from dead tiles. And so whenever it did happen, at this point, I don't know if you can see on the stream because I think the camera is a little bit too low, but I have calling buttons right here that turn off my calling and turn on my calling. And most of the time I have it turned off unless I'm planning to call. Once they reached, I'm like, 4-pin is Nakasuji right here, so I should turn this on just in case they drop it, because if they do, I'm willing to call and then take this weight right here, which would be waiting on, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 tiles? So yeah, not that bad. 4, 4, minus 1, yeah. Which they did drop it, throw that, and now I'm waiting against them. Against a non-dealer reach, it's still east technically, and even though I am first, the Dora is already kind of out. And so this right here doesn't seem that bad to me, plus they look heavy in Sozu, and so if I do draw a dangerous bamboo tile, I can figure out where I dropped it or not, but a lot of every single middle what's it called? I'm waiting on every single middle bamboo tile right now, so this is pretty solid against their reach. NEV-wise, it technically is okay-ish because I have the reach stick and because of the number of weights. They had all my 7s. So they went with Frichi Dora. Alright. Next up, South 1-1, 12th turn, and 13th turn. Or 12th, is that 12th? No, 2nd and 3rd turn. So, start off. So this is kind of interesting because I'm at like a crossroad right here. So I can either go for a Mensu hand, 4 groups of 3 in a pair, or I can go for 7 pairs. But because I already have a completed set right here and a good shape right here, looking for 7 pairs is a little bit better, I think. And so locking in, so I can either lock in this double-sided shape right here, and also is nice because at 8 early, if I get unlucky and don't get the shape until Richi, an early 8 like that is a pretty good indication they're not waiting on the 9 and the 6 weight, so that ups my winning percent by a decent amount. Or I could throw the 1 right here, but considering what I have, if I treat it as like 1 block right here, 2 blocks, 3 blocks, and get another one from either the 4 or the 6, and with this is my pair, I think probably dropping the 8 right here is better. Or I could drop the 1, which is also okay. Actually, dropping the 1 of Monzu might be better. But, like, this shape was pretty strong, and this shape is really weak, and so even to, like, help this shape just by 2 tiles, to sacrifice the 2 from this one, I don't think is bad. Interesting. Then third turn, I draw another 8 right here. Actually, I should have probably dropped the 1 from here. Or maybe not. No. So I'm still needing 1 final block, right? So the 8's kind of good in that if I draw a 6, it can form a 4, 6, 8 shape. So a Ryankan. But I already have this like floating 4 and this floating 4 pin right here. So both of them are pretty powerful, and this is still my weakest shape, so maybe I should still hold on to this. If only to up the chances of getting rid of it just by a little. Yeah. Okay. Next up. South 1-2, second turn, no call, and second turn. Yeah, this one is kind of interesting. So I start off the hand with 2 Dora, 2 of the East, which is a guest wind, because we're in the South round now, and then a 7-8-9 and a 7-8. So I could potentially open up this hand for Chanta, Sanshoku, Dora, Dora, or just like Chanta, Dora 3, both of which are pretty nice. And so this comes out and like, do I want to call this right now? And I think the answer was no, and I still kind of agree with that, because if I do call this, then I'm locking myself into this shape. It's still unconfirmed what I'm going to get right here. I could get like a 4 and then easily move towards a run shape. The biggest thing is I don't have like my last like group of 4 yet. Plus, even if this East comes out, there's still 1 more East left. No one can use it at this point because I have the other 2. Plus, if the 1 comes out, I could pawn that as well. So at this point, I think ignoring that is great. And then I got this. So at this point, I kind of want to play it like half and half. So I got 1 shape, 2 shape, 3 shape, 4 shapes, 5 shapes. So I can either keep around a floating 7 or a floating 8. The floating 8's better to keep around here though, because if I get rid of the 7, or if I keep the 7, I could potentially get Ipeko. But if I'm going to open up this hand later on, if I move over to like a Chanta, this one's better because I can open up with Chanta, Sanshoku, and Dora Dora, regardless of which pair I get. So 7 is better right here. And then, boom, I got the 9, so now I have a choice. I can either go for Chanta or go for a regular silver hand. I don't know. The Chanta is kind of nice here, I think, because I can open up this hand. 1s and 9s are, especially from my person to the left, my Kamicha, they're not using 1s and 9s right now, it looks like. So there's a pretty decent chance I'll be able to call maybe this, or even this, or even this, and so yeah, I think moving over to that is not bad. I can call my hand, it's an open Mongon, and all is well. So 7 comes out right here, call that, 1 Shanten. East comes out right there, pawn, instant Tenpai, waiting on the 6-9, but I can only win on the 9. And even though it's a half, I can only win on half my weight, there's still 3 left, and most importantly, it's a Mongon. Now, this person reaches, so should I push them or not? The answer, I think so. Even though we're in South 1 and I'm in first right now, they're in second place and they're still pretty close behind. If they get a Mongon Sumo, they're already over me. Or if they get something higher than that, even more so. Plus, I'm in Tenpai right now, even though it's a bad weight, because it's only the 9s. It's still waiting on, still waiting on 3 tiles, and it's an 8,000 point hand. And if we include the stuff in the middle, well, it's actually 7-7, so it would become a 10,300 point hand with the reach sticks. So we have no reason to be folding this. 4th is pretty far away as well. Sumo. Okay. Next up, South 2-0, first turn and 7th turn. Ooh, Haku kana? Probably Haku. I think Haku. Or not. Yeah, I actually think Haku here. So I was considering, like, well, I already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shapes, right? So maybe I should throw the 4 so it gives me a better chance to get the South or the Haku. But the 4 in itself is also an improvement tile, because I get the 3, then becomes a Nakabukure shape, which I can extend on and get potentially Pinfu Tanyao, Ipeiko Dora, or not, or Ipeiko and Dora, technically, if I switch over. No, just Ipeiko. Pinfu Tanyao Ipeiko. So, that being the case, I think I should probably throw Haku over 4. Ooh, or throw Pei. Oh, I didn't consider that. Well, I considered it in game. Okay. So, this is kind of interesting, because, like, let's say if we did throw out the Haku, and then we did throw out the South right here, and then we did, like, pick up, like, I don't know, a 6, and we get to Tenpai on the 3 pin and the North. Are we happy with that? No, we just break it up and keep going, right? So of the possible combinations that we have, what are the ones that we would actually like to keep the North in and would continue with that? And the answer is a Riichi Nomi on a double-sided weight, and that's it. But in this case right here, we have a pretty nice lead over second and third. The Dora is a pretty easy-to-use 7 tile. And we have some pretty good shapes going along with some nice, strong footing tiles. Even our honor tiles, this one's like a double South and Haku. So dropping the West here, I think, is actually not bad. Because we're avoiding the situation where we end up with Riichi only if we do this. But I still think maybe Haku might be a little bit better. Mainly because, like, if we get another Haku, then we have a chance to get, like, maybe like a fast hand or a Shabo with the Reach and the Haku, but it's still kind of slow, and, like, compared to the chances of getting that, we have about the same chances of ending up with our, you know, pretty early Riichi Nomi by drawing the 3 pin or the North. So I think dropping Haku here is okay. Whereas for the South, South is a bit better, because if we draw the South, it gives us a double South, which is really good. See, I think actually dropping Haku here might be better than North. Interesting. Okay. Next up, 7th turn. Lock in my hand right now or not? I don't think that's bad. But also, so right here I was thinking, well, if I drop the 3 pin and the 1 pin, it might look like, oh, he's like already confirming a shape in his hand, or he's getting rid of a Tatsu. And so then the 2-5 might seem a little bit safer since I dropped like the 3-1. Not necessarily. But if someone is wanting to push with their hands and they have the slight inclination of like, I could potentially drop this. How dangerous is it on a scale of 1 to 10? If this drops it even by a single like level, it's not that bad. Plus, what am I losing here? I'm losing the 3 and the 8 draw, which there's technically 4 of right now, but we're in mid-game. Keeping a bit safer tile for the dealer in case they reach, which is the big thing. I don't want to deal into an Ipatsu for them. And also I'm confirming Pinfu and the potential use of the red 5 Dora as well, so don't think that's a bad idea. Next up, South 2-1. First turn and 3rd turn. Yeah, this hand looks nice. So it's like, starting off, we have 1 block, 2 block, 3 block, 4 block. I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks with a pretty easy switch over to Sanshoku as well, and so it's nice. So I was wondering, should I drop the 6 right here, or should I drop the 8? If I keep the 8 around and draw something like a 6, then I can use the 4, 6, 8 shape and then drop the 1. But the 6 is also really good because I can draw... Actually, it's not that good. Well, it's not bad. I can draw the 5 and then take in 4 and 7, or I could draw the 7, take in 5 and 8. And even though this does kind of encroach on this shape, if I'm going for Sanshoku, it doesn't actually matter. So yeah, I think dropping the 8s here is okay. Keep going to 3rd turn. Now, yes, I like this one. I don't know. Yeah, I kind of messed up on this one a little. Or did I? Yeah, probably some. Or actually, I think they're equivalent. So I have a choice between dropping the 1 right here, or I can drop this 1 right here. So now if we look at our hands, especially if we're going for value, we have pair right here, 1 3 so, 1 1 3 pin, a 1 3 mon, and we got like extra 1, and then we have this 4 4 6 shape. Or we could view this as like a pair right here, a run right here, and a potential run with the 4 and 6. But if we do that, then our value is going to be cut a lot. So ideally we want to get rid of the 1, or we can get rid of this one first. It's just whichever we want to get rid of first. I kind of want to get rid of this one first, because even if we do draw this one... Actually, no. Well, maybe. I was thinking, well, maybe I want to keep it, because if I draw a pair, then we can potentially upgrade the hand even further. But that's kind of also the same as is true for this thing right here. Actually, maybe this one is a little bit better. Keep around. So if we do go for 1 2 3 Sanshoku, how can we potentially improve this hand? And the answer is if we get rid of this 4 4 6 and upgrade. But we're not going to, do that, go out of our way for that. It would have to happen naturally. So how could it happen naturally? If we keep this 1 around and throw this out, and then we draw 3 next turn, then we could drop the 6, then we could drop the 6. And if we happen to draw a 2, then we can drop the 4 and the 4, and now we have Sanshoku, Ipeiko, Chanta, and all is happy. So yeah, keeping this around is actually good. Oh, I gotta remember that shape. Alright. Next up, South 4-0. 4th turn, and then the last drop. So I need a manga and sumo to overtake first place. And I can't deal into a Hanemon sumo from last, or a manga and sumo from third. I don't know what third is doing. They look like they were going heavy in the Pinzu at first, but then later on they called a non-Pinzu tile, so it looked like they were going for just Tanyao. Just to try to escape from last place's grip. So right here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, because of the 3 right here, 5 blocks. But how can I make Tanyao? I mean, how can I make a Mangan out of this? If I get a red 5, technically, even if I keep this 1s around, I can get to a Mangan level by Richi, Tsumo, Dora, and then 1 Uradora, or Ipatsu. Which, if you include both of those, is about 35%, so it's not that bad. Or I can drop the 1s right now and confirm going for like Tanyao. And then that also allows me to keep the north around in case I draw a pair or a triplet of that. But that doesn't actually help me that much to my quest to a Mangan, so I think dropping the north right here is a little bit better. If only I get lucky with like red Dora. Yeah, I don't think that's bad. Plus, if I do get a red 5 right here, I can throw out the 4, and then this can become my new pair. And I have a Dora right here, and so I just need the Richi, Tsumo, Dora, and Uradora. So yeah, keeping the both pairs right here I think is good. What's up, Bonarch? Or Bonarch? Is it called Bonarch or Bonarch? Alright. And then, final question right here. This last drop. So I'm like really pushing for any chance I can of getting the first place. Even though at this point it's basically I would need to draw like a red 5, and then run them on a high tay. But I think that's a bit naive of me. Mainly because if they do hit me with a Hanemon, I'm kind of dead. And because they reached, we can probably guesstimate that they have at least, like, you know, Ricci and Dora, or actually, what's the difference between them? 7,300 points? So probably Ricci and 2 other somethings. Because that way they can get a direct hit, or they can get Uradora, Ipatsu, or they can get Tsumo to overtake 3rd place. Just say it in French, it's easier. Yep, I'm going to the NA Open. Sadly, I can't go to Montreal this year, because when it was released, I'm like, oh yeah, Montreal tournament! And I checked all the flight prices, and it's like $600, and sadness. Montreal. But yeah. But yeah, I definitely think I should have folded right here. The benefit of getting first is too far at this point, and there's only 2 draws left anyway. So, yeah. I'm sorry, Kajazaz. I didn't mean to steal away your 3rd place. Yep, don't get to see each other this month, but hey, we'll get to see each other next month, so it works out. Alright, and that's all the review I have for this game, so I'm going to be turning on the 5-minute delay again, and then jumping into another Ho game. So, thanks for watching, and if you continue watching, thanks for continuing to watch. So, see you then.